So put the bronzer down. I'm not gonna lie, it's on the floor already. This is pretty. The brush looks really weird and spiky. I've got glitter stuck to my nose hairs. Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is probably the only time you're ever going to see me wearing this colour because I got sent this t-shirt and I really like the quote on it. It says sensitive but tough, which I feel like describes me. But I'm just not really a fan of the colour, but I put it on as like pyjamas and then I just kind of kept it on and I thought I would wear it for this video. So today I thought I would test a bunch of new makeup. I haven't done one of these videos in maybe like a month and a half, I think. And I like to do them every so often to kind of like test new things, show you guys what's new, show you guys what's good, show you guys what's bad. And for some ungodly known reason, I'm wearing tracksuit bottoms and I think I'm gonna have to change into shorts because it is boiling. Enjoy! I've also just noticed that I've got a bit of instant tan just on my t-shirt up here. I don't normally wear instant tan, but I'm going out this evening and my arms were looking a lot paler than the rest of my body. Now I think they're a bit too dark. I don't know. For primer, I'm using the Kiko Beyond Limits On The Go primer, which is absolutely tiny. As the name suggests, I think these are kind of like for travel, but look how tiny this is. I don't know why I'm smelling it. I guess I kind of just draw this onto, I've got loads of little spots on my face. They weren't there like 10 minutes ago. Okay, we'll just continue. I'm really confused right now. It feels like it should be mattifying, but then weirdly it kind of feels greasy at the same time. It looks like someone else's hands are doing my makeup right now. Yeah, I'm not really too sure what I think of that one. It feels a bit too greasy for my liking. I'm using the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation. This part of the video is actually in collaboration with Urban Decay. They have decided to work with me on this, which is very nice of them. If you guys watched one of my videos from a couple weeks back, I did a full testing video on this foundation and I really, really like it. So I have the shade 30NN, which is what I use when I've got tan on. Well, I don't really not have tan on these days. There is 50 different shades of this foundation. So if you struggle to find your foundation shade, the likelihood is you're going to be able to find one in this. I have the shade 30NN, which means 30 neutral. But they've got lots of different undertones and stuff as well. So whether you've got yellow toned skin, more warm toned, cool toned, like depending on your skin tone, there's lots of different undertones. So the packaging, it just looks like this, and then it does have a pump as well, which is great because no one wants to be pouring foundation out of a bottle. So I normally do like a pump and a half maybe. And it does have a medium coverage, but it is buildable. So if you want to add like another layer, a second layer, then you can do that. But to be honest, I just kind of use concealer to cover any extra places where I feel like need more coverage. Or if you don't want the medium coverage, you can probably like sheer it out by just using like a big fluffy brush or something and make it more of a light coverage. Completely up to you. But yeah, as you can see, it's got a really nice skin-like finish. Well, in my opinion, I feel like it looks really natural and it is not too heavy at all. It feels really lightweight on your face, which is really nice. I think if you guys weren't a fan of the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation, which is a great foundation, but it's very like full coverage. If you're not a fan of that because you think that it's too thick, then I think you'll really like this one because it's a lot more lightweight, but it still gives you a nice amount of coverage. But also as well, if you were a fan of the original Naked foundation, not the Stay Naked one, but the original Naked, and you want something that's got a little bit more coverage, then you're probably going to like this one too. So I think it's a really good all-rounder foundation. I think I might have overdone it a little bit with the instant tan on my neck. It's fine, once I'm bronzed and everything, it'll be fine. I'm not normally this dark. So this is my skin with the foundation. I'm going to add the concealer as well. So this is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. Again, I have the shade 30NN. I also saw a video as well of the foundation and it was on their Instagram page, I think, and it was showing that it's waterproof, and this guy literally put it on his arm and then was like washing it with water and it wasn't coming off. I mean, I have to say I haven't tried that myself, but it's supposed to be waterproof as well. I kind of want to try that when I'm on holiday. Maybe I should do like a testing waterproof makeup video again. Let me know if you'd want to see that because I did one quite a few years ago. I mean, I would go and do it now, but I'm going out for dinner tonight, so maybe that's not the best idea. Also, I believe the official launch date for the foundation is the 1st of August, and I will leave a link down below in case any of you guys are interested. Right, what's next? Okay, so for powder, I'm using the Kiko Beyond Limits Fixing Powder, which again has this jazzy orange packaging. It looks like this, so I think it's just a universal translucent powder. I really hope this doesn't turn my face white. Uh-oh, I think that's made my face look more white. Okay, yeah, that powder definitely adds a slight white cast onto your face, which is not really what I want right now. So I'm gonna give that a pass. That's strange. I usually love Kiko's face products, but this powder is really not doing it for me. For my bronzer, I've also got another product from the Kiko Beyond Limits collection. This is the Maxi bronzer, and I normally like Kiko's bronzers, so let's see what I think of this. It doesn't have any sort of shimmer in it, and it also looks quite light. I'm kind of worried for this because normally I like Kiko's face products, but I didn't really like that powder, so I hope that this goes down well for me. So it doesn't smell as much of chocolate as they usually do. Oh, okay. Yeah, this one is actually fully matte. I'm just not really used to fully matte bronzers at the moment. I've really been going for ones that have like a tiny hint of sheen in them. Okay, it's quite nice. It's quite a nice colour. Like, it's not too orange, it's not too cool toned, it's a nice in between, and it's not too dark. It's definitely a buildable bronzer, which I like. Oh, I just never know where to stop with bronzers. I'm just going to use a tiny bit of my Bare Minerals bronzer in the shade Warmth. Not that it really needs that. I don't know what I'm doing. So put the bronzer down. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I can hear you guys screaming at me like, yes, Soph, it's enough. Okay, what am I doing for blush? Oh yeah, I have this. I actually got this today, and this is the Kat Von D Crush On Blush Highlighter and Blush Duo. Packaging looks like this, and then when you open it up, it's got a matte blush and then a shimmery highlighter. Ooh, okay, that's very glittery. It's kind of like a pink and gold duochrome highlighter. We'll give it a go. I'm going for dinner with my grandparents, but I'm sure they won't mind. Okay, so I'm taking the matte blush. Ooh, that's quite pigmented. Oh wow, okay, that's a lot. It's a pretty colour, but it's almost too pigmented. Well, it's quite a dark shade, to be fair. I wouldn't normally go for a blush that dark. It's quite nice, but I think it would probably be better suited to somebody that's got slightly deeper skin than me. Let's try a little bit of the highlight, but if this doesn't go to plan, I've got another one to test as well. Ooh, okay, wow, okay. It's very, very glittery. I don't know how well you can see. There's kind of like chunks of glitter. I mean, it looks nice, but I almost feel like you'd have to spray your face first because there's actual chunks of glitter flying all over my face and like into my hair. It is a really pretty colour. I like the colour of it and I think it looks really pretty, but it's just a bit too much glitter for your everyday kind of highlighter. I'm just going to go over it with a bit of this one, which I haven't tested yet. This is the Topshop Glow Powder Highlighter in Sunbeam. Packaging looks like this, and then the actual highlighter is like a yellow gold almost. Okay, maybe that's a bit too yellow, but wow. Oh, Jesus Christ. It almost looks like Bart Simpson's skin tone. Oh wow, okay, that was a very small amount and it's very, very pigmented. Wow, you do, okay, right, look, I'm literally doing that. You do not need much at all. To be honest, I'm not a massive fan of like yellowy toned highlighters. I like a gold, I like a champagne, but actual yellow, like yellow gold, isn't really my favourite on my skin tone. But the formula of this is so nice. Wow, I need to pluck my eyebrows. Wow, I really need to pluck my eyebrows. They're like growing down here. I think the highlighter just highlighted the extra brow hairs. Oops, I just put some of that in my eyeball. For my eyebrows, I don't have anything new to test, so I'm just going to use the Collection Incredibrow Brow Mascara in Brunette. And then I'm slightly defining them with my Lottie London Arch Rival Brow Artist pencil in Medium. Did you see that? It just broke and fell off. And then going in with my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, because I like to set my face before I do my eyes so that my mascara doesn't run onto my under eyes. This little bottle, I've kind of destroyed. It looks gross because it's covered in leaked foundation, but it's fine, it does the job. Moving on to my eyes, for my eyeshadow today, I'm testing the Revolution and Jack palette, which is a collaboration with Makeup by Jack. He is amazing, he's so talented and he's such a nice guy, and this is his creation with Revolution. It's just matte black with his kind of signature on it. And on the inside, it looks like this. There is a little, what is it? Name sheet, that's what I was gonna say, which just goes over the top like this. I'm not gonna lie, it's on the floor already. I was just about to say, I always lose those, so I'm sorry. Like, even for my own palettes, I lost it within like 2.5 seconds, so. But I absolutely love the way that he's designed this, because each corner of the palette is almost like a different look. I mean, obviously you could use whichever shade you want to create any look that you like, but for example, like you get a dark purpley sort of brown, a warm toned orange, a champagne for your inner corner, a pink, and then like a shimmer for your lid. So you kind of get like a little look in each corner, which I think is such a cool idea. This palette is super versatile. There's so many different things you can do with it. But me being me, and me also going to go and see my grandparents, I'm going to stick to the warm shades. To be fair, in the past few videos where I've actually done eyeshadow, I haven't really done warm shades. For Roxy's palette, I did a kind of like pastel bluey greeny purple look, so please let me off this one time. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this shade up here, I think, which is just a standard matte brown, nice and pigmented. I haven't done eyeshadow in ages. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Whoa, that's really pigmented. That's nice. I cannot get Ed Sheeran's new song with Stormzy out of my head. It's just so good. And also, oh my god, the one that he did with Eminem, I'm trying to do this. Well, so far that shade is really nice, really pigmented, blended really nicely. I'm then gonna go in with this shade over here, which is like a burnt orange sort of colour. And I'm gonna put this on my outer corners and also on my inner corners as well. I have to say, I wouldn't normally make this so much effort just to go to the Toby Carvery, but today, Toby Carvery is getting me with eyeshadow. I'm just dipping into a bit of the white or like creamy coloured matte shade, and I'm just gonna blend the edges out. Oh, for God's sake. First of all, I spat. Second of all, I just dug my brush into the blue shade. This is pretty. I'm then taking a slightly smaller brush, which is also clean. And I'm gonna take this shade here, which is like a warm brown. And again, I'm just deepening up the outer and inner corners. Wow, that's also really pigmented. Okay, so far, these colors that I've used are so nice. I'm just gonna run those same sort of brown shades on my lower lash line. And then on the center of my eyelid, I'm gonna take this shade here, which is a gold, but it almost has like silver glitters in it. When I swatched this before, I was like, whoa, because this is, for me, this is the standout shade from the palette. Oh my god. I have never seen Revolution do a shade like this in my life. It's got glitter in it, but the glitter actually sticks to your eye. Revolution? Where was this formula when I did my palettes? I can't get over that. Look at this. What? And for eyeliner, I've got this one, which is by a brand called Uoma, U-O-M-A. I don't know how you say that, but quite a few people have actually asked me to test this brand. I got sent a couple of bits from Beauty Bay, and this is the black Cleopatra ink liquid liner, and the packaging is gold like this. Oh, it's a brush. I haven't actually worn eyeliner in months. Okay, maybe weeks. It's nice. That's really nice. I love eyeliners that are in this brush form, where it's like bristles instead of a felt tip. Pretty damn nice. For my mascara, I'm using the Milani Dangerous Lengths Ultra Depth 3D Mascara, which looks like this. Well, this is the box. So the packaging looks like this. The brush looks really weird and spiky. Okay, so far I'm underwhelmed. I hope it builds, because I want some big lashes. It is building, but not really to the level that I usually like. It looks nice now that I've built it, but it's not really blowing me away. Ooh, it's nice on the lower lashes, because it doesn't distribute too much product. I probably won't use this again, I'm not gonna lie, but now what do I do with it? This is the problem with testing new mascaras. Finally, for my lipstick, I have another product by the brand Uoma, I don't know. This is the Badass Icon Matte Lipstick in the shade Eartha. When I first opened this, I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna give it away because it's red, because the bottom of it is red, and then I opened it, and it's a really nice nude colour. So I don't know why it's red on the bottom, but that was kind of off-putting. But it looks really cool. It's got like a really interesting matte texture, and it's printed onto the lipstick with the logo. And the packaging is magnetic, which is pretty fun. It doesn't smell of anything. Oh wow, that's really matte. I've got glitter stuck to my nose hairs. That colour is so nice. And it is matte. That is a matte lipstick, but it doesn't feel too drying. That's nice. I like it. It feels creamy, but it looks really matte. I kind of really like how this full face has turned out. I think my skin looks really nice. The eyes look really nice. The lips look really nice. I just really like pretty much everything that I tested, apart from the primer and the powder, and also the mascara was a little bit underwhelming. Today's question of the day comes from Miss Crayola, and she said, what would you say is the darker side to YouTube? That is a really interesting question, kind of deep. I would honestly say the darker side to YouTube is having people comment on your appearance and your personality and, you know, just negative comments in general when people don't know you. And I feel like people just attack you for more things online just because they're just behind a screen and it's not actually face to face, so they feel like they can give their opinion in a more negative way and kind of get away with it. So that's, you know, not so great. And also I think as well, comparing yourself to other people, because YouTube can be quite not competitive in a way that people are deliberately competing with each other, but it can be quite hard to not compare yourself to other channels, to other people that you see. I would say that, to be honest, for me personally, I don't really find that YouTube is that dark, because with hate comments and stuff, I literally just don't read them, or I block them, or I just like ignore them, whatever. Like, I don't really find that that phases me so much. I would say that Instagram is more, there's more of like a dark side to Instagram. I find that Instagram affects me more than YouTube does. Still love it, but sometimes I find myself scrolling down my Instagram and it just makes me feel really bad about myself, because I'm like, why don't I look like her? Anyway, that was a nice positive note to end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the makeup. I will link all of the products that I use down below in the description box. Thank you to Urban Decay for working me on the foundation part. If you guys want to get your hands on that, it is out the 1st of August. That is it from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!